little, I remember the worship, watching all of my walls come down. A little more. Hey everyone, Justin Roth here, back for a quick tutorial, hopefully quick, on Jacob Collier's brand new song, I Know a Little, from his new album that's coming out soon, The Light for Days. Now, I've been told sometimes I talk too much at the beginning, so I'm going to do my best to not do that. So the first two chords that you need to know, we are in DAEE. Well, okay, I'm going to demonstrate this on 6th string because not all of you have 5 string yet, but on the 6th string, it would be DAE. And then the 3rd string is, it's up to you. You can either leave it at G and let your finger rest against it and mute it. In this example, I've tuned it up to A. Now I'm gonna say you might end up breaking a string. If you have lighter gauge string, you'll have better luck getting there. But that way, I've got 2 unison strings. So D, A, E, A, E. So his typical tuning is D, A, E, A, D. And this one's A, E at the top. And it's capo on the 1st fret. Never mind the fact on his Venice video that he did not have a capo because he had a mini guitar that was tuned up a half step so that he could reach some of the chords, which we'll get to in a little bit because there are some that are hard to reach. Okay, back to the main chords. So we have what we're going to call an A chord. This chord is the major chord shape, 7, 7, 9, 7th fret above the capo. And the next chord is going to be a D over A, which is 7, 9, 10. And that's the main riff. And we're just pulling this finger off. I'll sing up to that point and then I'll demonstrate the new chord changes. I remember the feeling, I remember the taste of you. This part here, with same shapes, we're going to go back to that D over A. And he's alternating the D over A. This is the A note on the lowest string. And then doing it open and leaving these other 2 fingers the same. A little. Then we go back to those 2 chords. Shadows cover the ceiling. Suddenly I believed. Now we have 2 new shapes. It's the minor shape. If this is our A chord, this is our 1. Our 2 chord is a 2 minor, which is 9, 9, 10. I believed in. This is A over C sharp, or A and a major chord in 1st inversion. It's 11, 12, 12. Remember, this is that many frets above the capo. It's going to be deceptive because we're looking at our 12th fret here, but it's actually our 12th above the capo would be right up here. So it's 11, 12, 12. So I believed in you. This is a D chord, 12 frets above the capo. I believed in you. And now he does a little lick. Hammer on the 5th string on the 2 frets up. A little. Let me go back to our original 2 chords. I remember the worship, watching all of my walls come down. Same B minor to the A over C sharp to the D. A little more. Okay, so now when we get to the chorus, there's a couple of chord changes. Now, I'm going to show you what Jacob does, and and you will see why it's difficult. Jacob tends to use the guitar horizontally. All these chord shapes are moving up and down the neck this way. And because he only has 5 strings, he can't really fret these same voicings on lower strings this way if you play vertically. So he's got to, if he wants certain voice leading, he has to play higher up on the neck. And what he does in this section, and I'm going to show you an easier alternative too. He's going to an A chord, which is we've been to here, but he wants a little contrast. So we had our A, we had our A in 1st inversion, the A over C sharp. He goes to A over E, but it's up here, So it would be the 14th fret above the capo, 14, 16, 17. Now guitar players are going to go, what? Like playing chords way up there. If you don't have a cutaway, which Jacob does not, which I wish the 5-string did have a cutaway, you can reach it a lot. It's a little easier. Intonation also gets a little funky this high up on the neck. But what he does is this A over E, it's more comfortable down here, but it doesn't have the same voice leading. So we're going to follow what he's doing for now. And it's... So, see, the guitar gets pretty wonky. I'm not sure if that's the right word. Up that high on the neck. But this is what he's doing. So it's 14. The top two stay the same, and this is just walking up chromatically. 14, 15, 16, and 17. Now, it doesn't look like he changes his fingering here, but I'm leaving that note the same. 17, 16, 17. Again, above the capo, not your 17th fret. You're actually looks like 18, 17, 18. So, as impractical as I think that actually is, it's the voice leading that he's going for here. Now the alternative is we could stay on the, because it's more or less that he's doing an A over E to an A augmented, which could be called a couple different things, but I'm going to show you the simpler version. So it's like an A. You can do the regular A that we started with. On the recording, it sounds almost like an A sus2. So I'm just going 7, 7, 7, 7, 8, 7, 7, 9. Here I add the pinky back on the 9th fret. And then an A7, 7, 10, 9. A little more, and let it all fall down, letting it go. So there we've got that. And then we kind of walk down familiar chord shapes to from the D up on the 12th fret. I know, I know, I know. So it's D, A over C sharp to that B minor shape. I know, I know, I know a little. Then we go back to the top of the tune again. Kiss me down by the ocean, kiss me till I forget I'm blue. Now the first time he did it, he went this alternating in the bass string. This time he just goes low. A little unafraid of the shadows, lying awake in the dark with you. Back to that B minor, to the A over C sharp, to the D. A little, you pull me up like a soldier to conquer the world for you. Same. My little one. I'm just going to keep right on rolling here. And he goes into another chorus. Again, you can do that thing way up there if you can reach it. Or letting it all fall down, letting it go. I know, I know, I know, I know, I know. So that last line of the chorus, he comes down that same progression. I know, I know, I know, the first time. And the second time we get those really Jacobean chords. I know, I know, I know a little. And what that is if this was our A up on the 7th fret, we go down to the 5th fret, 5, 5, 7 would be a G chord. And if we go 5, 7, 7, it would be a G6 chord. And that's where he lands and then goes down to an F diminished chord, which is 4, 3, 5. I know, I know, I know, I know, I know, I know a little. Then we get into like an instrumental section, which sounds a lot like the riff from the original intro, but now instead of it being up on A, Now we're down in inversion, A over E. So remember we're alternating between an A chord and a D chord, D over A. Now we're all doing an A chord, A over E, to D over F sharp, which is 4, 5, 5. And then that's just an instrumental 2 times through. There we go into another chorus. Same as before. I'm going to do the lower version just because to me it's more practical, more applicable to not have to reach so high up. I'm letting it all fall down, I'm letting it go. I know, I know, I know, I know, I know, I know. He adds one extra chord that he doesn't do in the other place. It's just that D over F sharp again before we go back to another intro. And we're leading into another verse. At the end of a long day, all I need is to hear you say a little. Give me a feeling, something I can believe in for. And the earlier times he would do that little hammer on that D chord to the D6. This one he does a little slide up to that where we go, something I can believe in for. And he's just walking up on that our 5th string. So if it's 12, 12, 14, 12, 13, 14, 12, 14, 14. And that's that little, another little sneaky little passing chord in there. And then we're just slipping right back into another chorus. Again, I'm going to do the lower version. I'm letting it all fall down, I'm letting it go. I know, I know, I know, I know, I know, I know. One more time. I know, I know, I know. A little. Back to the intro or outro. If you're interested in learning more of in-depth stuff about not only Jacob's songs, but his general approach, join me over on my Patreon. That's where I've got more in-depth tutorials and handouts and things that you can download to learn more of this stuff. And we got a lot of exciting stuff coming up in the future, so join me over there. The link is in the description. So we'll see you soon.